My name is Kelly Richards. I'm the president and director of the Free Library of Philadelphia. And some of you are probably wondering why I have this shirt on today. Well, guess what? I lost a bet with the Kansas City Public Library Director, John Herron. Our football teams played in the Super Bowl, and the Birds lost one of the best games we've seen in decades in the Super Bowl. Very competitive and fun. But since the Birds lost this year, we'll see what happens next year, but since they lost, I have to read a book that was picked by the Kansas City Public Library Director. Now, I wanted us both to do colors of the team's hair. So I would have been having red hair today, or hopefully next year he'll have green hair. So we'll do hair next year if the same teams play. But I've got to read this book, and the name of the book is Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day. That explains Super Bowl day. But it was a good game, but we lost. So I'll be reading this book that was picked by the Kansas City Public Library, and I've never read this one before. It is a classic, but I've never had the opportunity to read it. So I will be reading this book today. And here we go. I went to sleep with gum in my mouth, and now there's gum in my hair. And when I got out of bed this morning, I tripped on a skateboard, and by mistake, I dropped my sweater in the sink while the water was running, and I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. Now, I used to be a children's librarian, so I know how to do this. It's been a while. At breakfast, Anthony found a Corvette Stingray kit in his breakfast cereal box, and Nick found a junior undercover agent coding ring in his breakfast cereal box. But in my cereal breakfast box, all I found was breakfast cereal. I think I'll move to Australia. In the carpool, Miss Gibson let Becky have a seat by the window. Audrey and Elliot got seats by the window too. I said I was being scrunched. I said I was being smushed. I said if I don't get a seat by the window, I'm going to be car sick. But no one even answered. I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. Wow. All right. At school, Miss Dickens liked Paul's picture of the sailboat better than my picture of the invisible castle. At singing time, she said I sang too loud. At counting time, she said I left out 16. Who needs 16? I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. Wow. I could tell because Paul said I wasn't his best friend anymore. He said that Philip Parker was his best friend, and that Albert Mayo was his next best friend, and that I was only his third best friend. I hope you sit on the tack, I said to Paul. I hope the next time you get a double-decker strawberry ice cream cone that the ice cream part falls off the cone and lands in Australia. Wow, long fall. There were 2 cupcakes in Philip Parker's lunch bag, and Albert got a Hershey bar with almonds, and Paul's mother gave him a piece of Jelly Roll that had little coconut sprinkles on the top. Guess whose mother forgot to put in dessert? It was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. Wow. That's what it was, because after school, my mom took us all to the dentist and Dr. Fields found a cavity just in me. Come back next week and I'll fix it, said Dr. Fields. Next week, I said, I'm going to Australia. On the way downstairs, the elevator door closed on my foot. And while we were waiting for my mom to go get the car, Anthony made me fall where it was muddy. And then when I started crying because of the mud, Nick said I was a crybaby. And while I was punching Nick for saying crybaby, my mom came back with a car and scolded me for being muddy and fighting. I am having a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. I told everybody. No one even answered. Oh, wow. I guess I can kind of feel it after the Super Bowl. So then, when we went to the shoe store to buy some sneakers, Anthony chose white ones with blue stripes. Nick chose red ones with white stripes. I chose blue ones with red stripes. But then the shoe man said, we're all sold out. They made me buy plain old white ones, but they can't make me wear them. Nope, not putting those on. When we picked up my dad at his office, he said I couldn't play with his copying machine, but I forgot. He also said to watch out for the books on the desk, and I was careful as could be except for my elbow. He also said don't fool around with his phone, but I think I called Australia. My dad said please don't pick him up anymore. It was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. Ooh, wow. There was lima beans for dinner, and I hate lima beans. There was kissing on TV, and I hate kissing. My bath was too hot. I got soap in my eyes. My marble went down the drain, and I had to wear my railroad train pajamas. I hate my railroad train pajamas. Railroad PJs. When I went to bed, Nick took back the pillow he said I could keep, and the Mickey Mouse nightlight burned out, and I bit my tongue. The cat wants to sleep with Anthony, not with me. It's been a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. My mom says some days are like that. Some days are like that. Even in Australia. Alexander and the terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. Now I'm going to take this t-shirt off and send it to Kansas City. Thank you.